Yeah, so, ooh, that's okay. I got it, Mom. So the reflection is we do better because we know better, not because others know less. It's removing this inclination to size yourself up against other people in order to judge yourself to be good or bad, or less or more, or better or worse. You know, this is it's a sober reminder, because it's just helping us to understand how things have been set up, and how the only way we're going to function in our full capacity is to operate within that. You cannot go outside these universal laws and think that you're going to be prosperous in your own right, right? So I'm hearing, right? Okay, we do better because we know better. We do better because we know better, not because others know less. Right? If you know better, that doesn't mean you're better than the next person, in the sense that your advancement is reliant on their ignorance. It's more to say now, because you know better, you are, what they say, you're held more accountable. You understand? You know, this is why adults are held more accountable than children, because children still have a lot to learn. But adults, we expect them to have a certain understanding of things. And so they're not treated like a child is treated. Right? So I'm sensing that with this, the admonition is to focus on yourself and stop sizing yourself up against other people, because that is a false way of doing a self-evaluation. Okay? That's why it's called self-evaluation, taking self-inventory, taking inventory of your storehouse, what's going on inside of you. Has nothing to do with other people. Okay? Okay, crack the egg. We multitask over here. You want to get up? Oops. No, oops, I got you. Yeah, so it requires you taking personal inventory of what's going on inside of you. It has nothing to do with sizing yourself up against someone else as to say, hey, I must be doing great because they don't have what I have. Right? And it's typically based on appearances. We know that. Right? And then I'm also hearing like that begets the true the true bipolarism. Because now you're fluctuating all the time based on you're so up and down because you size yourself up against other people, and because there's so many variables when it comes to each person, you're all over the place. Right? You're all over the place. 1 minute you looking at somebody, sizing yourself up, thinking, you're a little puffed up because you got a little bit more than them. So you think what they say, you smelling yourself, you think your shit don't stink, and then you get around somebody else who's in the position that you called yourself to be in against this person. Now you find yourself in the opposite, and you're looking at this person like, God damn, they got more than me. They did all that by the age of 20. Shit, what was I doing by the age of 20? Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I said. Like, it just sets you up for disappointment. And, you know, you end up having, when I hear yuck face, right? Because you got yuck thoughts. You got that ill face, ill. Like, you know what I mean? Because you ill. You got ill face, yuck thoughts. You got a yuck countenance. And then you're bound to speak yuckiness, right? Because that's how it works. As a man thinketh, so he is. So if you out here feeling some type of way about yourself because you're always sizing yourself up against what other people are doing, and you're not going within and really tapping in and understanding what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and being happy with the growth processes that you're coming through, meaning, you know, I'm not the same person that I was a week ago or a year ago or 5 years ago. I can see that I've grown, right? And I can honestly be thankful and have a heart of gratitude, right? I don't have to be in a place of, you know, a beggar, right? As if I'm scarce in resources or scarce in source, right? We're making movement. There's levels to this shift, and there are, you know, growth requires going through processes, and those processes can't be rushed. Okay? You know, nature shows us that. So it's nothing wrong with looking at someone else and being inspired, but just know that you're not here to do what they do, neither are they here to do what you do. You can be inspired to go be more about your business, but when you're sizing yourself and comparing yourself up, you know, amongst other people, it'll cause you to get really, you'll be quick to be bearing those attributes of hate and jealousy and envy and all those other things that make you ill, right? And they're making it very clear to me at this time that, my friend, is the whole thing about having life and death in your tongue. Now, this don't got shit to do with nobody else. This, I know somebody hears that and they be like, ooh, I got the power of life and death in my tongue. I can say something and I can kill you. No, bitch. You killing yourself. That's what's happening, because your jurisdiction really is over yourself. You just not aware of that. So as you talk or as you think, right? And then you're digesting and subscribing to this information that's yucky, and then you're spitting yucky stuff, you're killing yourself. You're only killing yourself, okay? Because even, let's just talk about inspiration. If I were, even as I'm talking now and I'm sharing this now, right? This is to inspire you, but you are not inspired unless you do what? Consent to what I'm saying. So it still requires your choice. So you are always in the driver's seat, right? So nobody can sit here and kill you, right? Nobody sit here can bring life to you, nigga. They're just reminding you of what you already have. Do you understand? So yeah, I had to that thought came to me because sometimes we pick up on energy of others and certain thoughts come to our mind. And I'm not here to say if that thought was sent my way from someone or if that was something that I was dealing with internally because of, you know, certain things that I need to overcome or whatever. But it's obvious that your girl was ready for this one, right? And so I could see the thought trying to make me compare myself to somebody. Like, first of all, no, you know what I mean? Ain't no hate against what they doing or whatever, but I'm not them, they not me, right? So that's me killing that ego, right? Like, nah, we're not doing that. You know, even if that person was sending the evil eye or whatever, whatnot, I'm not buying into that thought form. I'm not buying into that. Because it's a fucking lie. Because the moment you start buying into that and you start entertaining that thought, it becomes, you know what I mean? That's how it gets seeded. These are seeds. And then you start watering that shit because you keep giving it your energy and thinking about it. And you're like, what? Wait a minute. And then now you shape your life around somebody else's life because you're kind of trying to tell yourself like, no, I'm the idea in itself. I'm hearing like it's good because you're like, no, I'm better than this, right? I am better than this. Like, no, you're not gonna put me down or whatever. They hear this thought coming, it's their ego. You're not gonna put me down. No. But the problem is when you take that and then now you become competitive, right, against that person as to show that you are better. But that would mean that you buy into the fact that you are worse. So it already got you. But if you, what would you say? Subdue that thought by speaking the truth and saying, no, you know what I mean? Kudos to that person. I wish them well. If, whatever they're doing, by all means, I hope you are being responsible and taking care of yourself and doing what you need to do to be healthy, well, inside and out. Right? But as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing to do with that. And you have nothing to do with my process. Right? Takes a lot of maturity to do that. A lot of maturity to do that. Because this is something that we typically identify, like I said, with children, with kids. Kids do this. We expect it. We expect that. Because, they haven't been around long enough to understand certain things. So we understand that they're going to, depending on who they are, where they are in their, in their timeline, right? Because we know some of us have past lives. Considering we have a soul. So, I guess this is just a gentle reminder how important it is to remember these things. Because like I said, it came as a way of observing something, and then this thought try to creep in and be like, oh, yo, you know what I mean? Like it's the ego trying to get something started because it wants to survive so bad. It swear it got all the answers. It swear it know everything. And it don't know shit but to get you in fucking trouble and then leave your ass out to dry once it got you where it wants you to be. Because it's a punk ass bitch. That's what the ego is. The ego is a punk ass bitch. It will rev you up to get into the most diabolical, situations. And the moment it knows you about to go under, it ain't nowhere to be found. Or it's sitting there telling you how you shouldn't have did something. Nigga, where was you before this all went down? Talking about I shouldn't have did it. You know what I mean? That's what the ego do. The ego have your back way back. I mean, way back, right? He the hype man who get ghosts when shit pop off. That's the ego. Well, nobody told you to do. Yeah, that you need to tell that motherfucker shut the fuck up, cause he gonna get you in trouble all the time. All the time. But I thought that was so, so simple, so good. It's just like, yeah, we do better because we, in quotations, we know better. I know better, so I do better. I don't do better because somebody else does less. You understand what I'm saying? It's because I know better. So it's never about somebody else. Never. I couldn't even dictate my movement like that without being stagnated. You would become a stagnant person because you would be having to be on hold every time you come across somebody that is doing something that is not necessarily something you quite understand. And now you're spending your time and energy trying to unfold and unlock something that was never meant for you to unfold and unlock. That's what it kind of reminds me of when people say that you end up getting other people's karma. Right? It had nothing to do with you, but because you put your 2 cents in it, if you will, or you took their offer to become involved in this situation, now you took on their karma. And karma means just consequences that come with choices that we made. Okay? It necessarily didn't have anything to do with you. Right? And I think the more we do our own personal inner work, the more we will catch on to these things where we know somebody is trying to run away from their karma. And they're trying to use you as like a cushion to that blow. They really don't want that experience. But that experience is what is going to teach them not to do that shit again. You don't want to be an enabler. That's what that's all about. You can't be an enabler. So you got to get rid of this indoctrination that will have you to believe that the creator is sitting here telling you to endure somebody else's consequences that the choices they've made in their life because that's love. Right? But what do we find? We find that when people are like that, they typically don't learn their lesson. They always think, what do these people call them, spoiled? They don't learn their lesson. They always think they're going to get away with what because that's what experience is teaching them. You cannot blame them for feeling this way. Because that's what they've experienced. Every time I do something horrible to somebody, nothing happens to me. So of course the ego is going to get inflated and puffed up because they're like, nothing ever happens to me. I don't get no God comes through no sky and punishes me or nothing like that. I sleep well. Matter of fact, my bank account is fat. Right? I'm out here living it up. I'm on vacation after I do the most diabolical shit to people. So you're going to have a hard time convincing someone like that that there's karma coming for them. They're like, yeah, okay. Show me when. tell me, because it hasn't happened yet. Good luck. I'm going to be about my merry way and continue to do what I do best. Right? So that's what I mean. Like, a lot of folks don't realize that the only reason why they say that too is because a lot of people are in the way of that. In the way of allowing them to feel that. So you get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way by staying focused and standing in your square and doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's it. That's how you get out the way. It ain't no like, it's not a thing where you're just like, you gotta verbalize it. You gotta say, no, I'm not going it. You know what I mean? Considering the circumstances, you just move out the way. You be like, okay. Well, all right. Okay. Have you not noticed that when you truly are in a place of knowing, the lies that people have to say really don't bother you because you're just like, that's a fucking lie. Matter of fact, you'd be tickled just like I laugh now. You just be like, what? Nigga, what? Sometimes you can't even be offended because the lie is so blatant. It's like, dude, are you serious? Like, okay, right? And you go about your business because you're just like, I know this nigga don't think that I believe what he just said. Like, it's so obvious that you're lying. Like, you know what I mean? So you just have to take that stance with folks that you come across like that too, where you know that they just have a lesson to learn. And you are not the teacher to teach them that lesson. You are the person to get out of the way, not enable them, and let them, in a sense, dig their own ditch so that they can get the lesson and grow from that, right? You know, because everybody's personality is different. Some of us, believe it or not, some people can handle things more than others can. I believe that. And especially, I know there's a lot of parents that can testify to that with their children. They can see that some kids have a very strong personality. So stuff don't bother them like it might bother their other child who may be a little bit more sensitive, right? So you got to know the Creator understands each and every one of us, and what we're able to endure, right? And not even that, the fact that you put your hands to go do something shows the level of which you can take. So that's where that whole saying comes, where it's like, oh, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. Oh no, they can take it. They just pretending like they can't because they don't want to go through the repercussions of their actions. Oh, they can take it. Oh, they can take it. Their mind is already conditioned. The fact that you sat there and entertained thoughts that bring harm to your body, and you were okay with those vibrations and energies, and you know what I mean? You was already conditioned. So you can take it. You can undo this thing. You know what I mean? But it's going to be you to do it. You ain't going to be looking around blaming nobody else because you got yourself into that situation. You going to get yourself out. You know? So yeah. Trust and believe. Don't believe the hype. That's why I said that's what makes an excellent judge, because they pick up on this shit. When people try to get into that little pity party in the courthouse and they be trying to act like, oh, I can't take this. No, you can take it, nigga. Because you just think about somebody who murdered somebody with their cold blood hands. What you had to endure, the thought process of planning, the premeditation, the going in, the grabbing the knife, the slicing, the seeing the meat rip, to see the blood drip, all that other stuff. You endured all of that. You bypassed all the makeup that in which you was created that will tell you this is not right. No. You bypassed all that. And now all of a sudden, nigga, you talking about you can't live in a cell? You can't live in a cell. But you just created a cell within yourself to where you pretty much closed yourself off to any wisdom. You put yourself in a box within yourself. So really, jail seems to be a manifestation of what's really going on inside of you. You literally closed yourself up in a box from any intelligence, any type of wisdom that would have been downloaded to you to help you to understand what you're about to do. It's going to hurt you. Right? And you bypassed all of that. You bypassed all of that. And now the idea of actually having to sit in a cell for the rest of your life got you feeling like now you made a mistake. Oh, now I made a mistake because this is not what I signed up for. I thought I was going to do this and get away with it. Yeah, that's a problem, bro. Because even if man didn't put you in a jail cell, you wouldn't have got away with it. Okay? And I think that's the part that a lot of us is getting back to, like I said, because when you step out the way and you let universal order take its place, you'll start to see nature will start to help you. The animals will start to help you. You know how we be like, oh, what goes around comes around? You know how like a motherfucker go snatch a bitch's purse and they running and then they not paying attention and then a car hit them and then motherfucking ass get injured and stuff and stop. Like we say karma, like that's instant karma. That's what I'm talking about. When you get back to that and you start believing that, listen, get out of the way. Get out of the way. There is divine justice everywhere you look. There's a way. There's a way for the universe to get people's attention, to show them, listen, I gave you free will, but I'm telling you now, what you just chose to do was not for your highest good. That's what I'm going to show you. You know, you can't change that. You can't change that. Right? You know? It's just like when you eat something that your body, your DNA is not built to handle. Sure, Susie Q and Bob over here can eat it with no problem and gain no weight, but as soon as you eat it, you blow up like a house and then get mad because you are not choosing to believe the signs that are telling you this does not work for your body. Leave it alone. It's right. It's instant karma letting you know, leave it alone. It does not work for you. And you steady saying, well, they can eat it. That's not fair. Listen, if you live your life like this, you're going to be a miserable motherfucker. I'm going to just tell you that. Because there's things that you can do that other people can't do either. Stop sitting here thinking that somebody is always out to like fucking sabotage your life and make your life miserable. Right? You all sat here and believed a lie. Probably some commercial anyway that convinced you that eating that fucking product was going to bring you some sort of sensation, but actually it's a setup. It's about to get you addicted, bitch. Right? Because somebody want to line their pockets with the money you worked hard for. How about that? But you can't see that hand of provision over you. You too quick to say, oh, something's out to get me. Something's out to make me, you know, miserable and keep things from me. Nah, nigga, you want to keep eating whatever it is that you've been eating and then still complain about that tummy ache that you got, then continue to do that. That's you. But don't say that you didn't get a sign that told you that don't work for you, because the very fact that you got a belly ache after you ate that shit was the fucking sign. That was the sign. Pay attention to your body. Even the doctors talk to you like this. Yes, they do. They expect you to tell them what's going on with you. Otherwise, they don't know. They're like, listen, you're in your body. How the fuck am I supposed to know more than you? You're coming to me saying you feel pain. Where do you feel the pain, ma'am? Sir? They expect you to be aware of yourself. Take advantage of that. Right? Take advantage of it. Take that back. Right? You'll be surprised how you can use that to your advantage too when they try to put you on some ill shit because they trying to make some money off of you. No, I don't feel that, so I don't know what you're talking about. You know, let's have a conversation. Why is it that I don't feel, you know, any pain or anything like that, and you're telling me I need to take these pills? What do I need to take these pills for? What are you showing me? You know, what are the tests saying? You know, a lot of times folks don't take we don't take accountability and ask questions and challenge folks and say, yo, I don't understand. What are you talking about? And I can't solely put my life in your hands, because then that would mean that I need to just fall back and let you do everything for me. If that's the case, and that's where they're trying to take you now, doing everything for you because they don't think you're capable of making decisions for yourself. And you think it's cute. Y'all think it's cute. Right? But yeah, so again, that's to their demise. Because that goes back to what I was saying before, what I said, we do better because we know better, not because others know less. These type of people bank on you knowing less because they think by you knowing less makes them better. In fact, in actuality, they're hurting themselves. They are hurting themselves. Because they are straight up codependent on you. They're codependent on you. That's what folks don't see. They're codependent on you. If somebody's saying, hey, I feel good about myself, the more ignorant you are, that means they codependent on you. They need you. So the idea is not to know what they know, it's to know you. Because knowing you and knowing where you stand on your spiritual journey is all that matters. All the other stuff will fall in its proper place. You won't even have to worry about anything else. Everything else will just fall into place. Right? And then imagine that, with you working, with you taking so much with you taking accountability for yourself, my nigga, you raise your vibration. And in raising your vibration, you are bound to attract folks who are doing the same thing. So it always falls back to you. Take care of you. All the rest will follow, if you will. I think that's where they probably reworded it and shit, because we know King James did his little version of the Bible or whatever, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added unto you. That's what I'm reminded of. You need to know thyself first, and everything else will be added unto you. Know thyself. You know? Ask questions surrounding yourself, what you're dealing with in your life. You know? Sure, they're dishing out all this news and information about what's going on around the world, and that's fine and dandy. Nobody's saying that you can't watch that shit or whatever, but at the end of the day, what matters the most is you know what the fuck is going on with you. Personally. And then take it from there. Take it from there. This is why you can see that. I know some people be like, oh, these people are careless because they're not stressed out and, going mad because they, no, you're going mad because you sit there and suck up all the violence and all the hate and all the madness that they're putting on the television for you to watch, and you just sitting there sucking it up, and you wonder why you're sad, you wonder why you're depressed, you're wondering why whatever. It is what it is, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? What do you expect to happen? Right? You shouldn't be looking at these things as guidance. You should not be looking at these things as a guidance, because they're not meant to guide you. They're meant to distract you. Because what the fuck are you going to do about something going on somewhere else, or where you don't have no fucking control? You don't have no control over nobody but yourself. Nobody but yourself. So it's like you already lost the moment you trying to control and manipulate somebody else to do something that you want them to do, when you could have sat there, used that same energy on you, who you do have jurisdiction and control over, and got more headway on that than trying to go out and trying to make somebody do something they don't want to do. Yeah, you know? So, I know a lot of times people think that because they don't see people have a presence wherever, whether it's online, whether it's in their neighborhood, whether it's in certain circles and places and stuff, they think they're nothing. Because once again, that's somebody comparing themselves amongst other people. That goes back to what we said earlier. That's all that is. You don't have no idea what a motherfucker's doing. Right? When they take a hiatus, if that's what you want to call it. You don't have no idea what they're doing. You could be monitoring, surveilling, nigga, monitor and surveil all you want, but you don't know the thoughts and the downloads. We get downloads. I don't have to speak it. I don't have to write it. That shit could just come to my mind and I'd be like, So a lot of times folks will think that they getting over on you because they don't, it appears that way. It's always about appearance, ain't it? Even though I'm even thinking of what's coming to my mind is like wars and stuff. It's always about appearance, isn't it? To appear like you have an advantage. You know, turn the enemy's attention to this so they're not looking over here where we're actually doing something. And then, you know, it'll appear that they feel like they getting headway on something. In fact, we got the advantage. You know, it's all appearances. Right? But I feel like if you focus on your damn self, none of that shit matters. None of it matters. You just are in a phase of I don't give a fuck. It's a beautiful phase. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The I don't give a fuck phase is a beautiful space to be in. It really is, because it's more saying, listen, I can't change nothing with regards to what these motherfuckers is doing, but I can change myself, and I can share, if I choose to, what it is that I'm becoming aware of within myself by way of me doing this work. But nevertheless, that's with me. And even, like I said, even the very fact of someone tuning into what I'm saying is a choice on their part to even listen. So at the end of the day, you better off just making sure you do you. Make sure you are, taking self accountability, having accountability for yourself. Because everything else, like I said, is a matter of choice with other people. It's a matter of, it's not in your hands. It's not under your control. You know what I mean? And even this sense of control is a fucking farce. I can go into that. You know what I mean? Even when we talking about power and respect, the whole idea of thinking that you can buy respect, that right there is a corrupt thought too, because you can't. So like I said, there's so much wisdom out there for us to have, but we have to take accountability for ourselves first. The moment you start sizing yourself up against somebody else and thinking that you're making headway because you're looking at them as to say, oh, you're beneath me, or you're less, or you're worse, or you're poor and I'm rich and you're this and that, this whole comparison thing is a setup. It's a setup. Because once again, we do better. You, as an individual, do better when you know better. When you know better. When you know better, you can do better. Meaning better means betterment. Meaning we're making adjustments forward. We're going forward. Not backwards. We're going forward. We're growing. We're leveling up. Right? It never comes by way of you saying, I do better because they do less. What the fuck is that? That doesn't even make any sense to me. I do better because they do less. Nigga, that's a setup. That's a mental fucking setup. Because if they start doing more, then what does that say about you now? So your whole being is codependent upon somebody else. It has nothing to do with your own inner strength and willpower. It has everything to do with somebody else and what they're doing. So that means they have you on the strings, puppet. Yeah. Somebody's pulling your strings, puppet. Which is why it would make sense why these type of people spend so much time and energy trying to control and manipulate what somebody else is doing. Whether it's through gang stalking, whether it's through all this stuff that people are sharing now, that these folks are doing now because they're in a place of desperation, because the universe and the planets are lining up so beautifully to give us all this fucking wisdom right now. And it's just making them go loco because they're codependent on you. They need you to be in a certain position in order to feel better about themselves. When they can feel better about themselves if they just do the motherfucking work. It's a twisted fantasy. A very twisted fantasy. Very twisted fantasy. Very twisted. This is why you'll never be able to have conversations like this with folks who don't want to take accountability for themselves. Because the moment you start speaking that, they get fidgety. They start malfunctioning like a computer that just got water on it. They don't know what to do. You know, they get weird, right? And you're thinking to yourself, I know what I'm speaking is truth. I know what I'm speaking is true. But again, like I said, it's for you. It's for you. Right? Truth stands on its own merit. It don't need nobody's validation, nobody's agreement. It will be here. If we here or if we gone, truth is going to be here. Universal law is going to continue to do its thing. And we can either fall in line or go up against it and learn what we need to learn in order for us to grow. You know? But like I said, the admonition is to understand that we do better because we know better. It's not because others know less.